Hello, this is Ben again from Couchside Resistance. I just wanted to get some thoughts out there. I was reading recently about the new court decision, the 6-3 court decision via the Supreme Court over the Louisiana versus Callais case. And, to keep it short and concise, I find it rather just insane that we're living through this timeline. And I think a lot of times people, especially in the older generation, tend to think that like we have it so easy. And like, back in my day, it was just so hard. And like, meanwhile, we have an administration who's cutting healthcare, who's putting cancerous elements into the atmosphere, doing all types of stuff to like basically dehumanize anyone that's not an elite. And and this is just one thing, one blip in their just huge extensive dehumanization project, which is MAGA, and but with the Louisiana versus Callais case, essentially what the Supreme Court ruled is that they said it was unconstitutional for Louisiana to make a second majority black district, and because it's I think it's 1/3 of the population of Louisiana is African American, and so to represent that, they thought that it would be good to create a second district like the first, and they said no, can't do that because that's racial gerrymandering. And like but then at the same time they're trying to say that, well, it's okay to racially gerrymander on partisan lines, but then it's like one's based on just trying to like give people more representation, and the first of all, there shouldn't even be gerrymandering. That's why we're in this situation in the first place, is because we have this corrupt system where we essentially carve out plots of territory that have poor people and then rich people, and that's like essentially how things like funding funding get dispersed and stuff like that for education and stuff like that, and poor districts always get less funding for that stuff too, so less and so there shouldn't even be gerrymandering. But this is the system we're working with now, and we have to deal with it. And so I think some solutions we can offer up is building more multiracial coalitions, because and also ballot chasing is another one that's legal, completely legal. Ballot chasing is basically like following up with your voters that say they're going to turn out to vote, and making sure they turned out to vote. And then multiracial coalition building is how, like, even in states with heavily Republican drawn maps, Democrats were able to perform rather well in those states, like in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Kansas. So we need to do that, and we just need to like cling on to something, cling on to hope, and hope that humanity will see another a better day than these days, where there will be relative peace, at least, and we can't just let them win. We can't let them grind us down. I don't know if you guys seen the Handmaid's Sale or not, but that's like one of the things that June said in the wrote down or read in the show. So just don't let the bastards grind you down. You gotta cling to something to hope to, and we at least have to hope for a better day, and I think that will motivate us to use every single tool at our disposal. And if you like this content, if you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and if you want, you can donate via Patreon, and all the links for what I'm talking about will be put in the description below with my Patreon account. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.